Hello gamers, and welcome back to yet another Fortnite video. In this video, I will be going over the evolution of the Fortnite map from Season 1 all the way to the possible Season 11 map. Let's get started. Season 1. The Season 1 map started off as a pretty plain map with very little named locations. As you can see from this image, there's only 13 named locations, and some of these locations were later taken. These locations were Moisty Mire and Anarchy Acres. However, as you will see later in the video, these locations may be about to make a comeback. Season 2. Season 2 brought with it the well-known drop location that we all used to know as Tilted Towers. Season 2 also brought with it Snobby Shores and Haunted Hills, but Snobby Shores and Haunted Hills aren't really dropped at as much anymore, and they haven't had much of a role in the season's storyline. However, Tilted Towers were quickly chosen as more of the sweaty place to drop at, as most of the lobby would go there only for half of them to get quickly deleted from the game. This season also brought with it some new textures to the map. Things such as grass textures and trees were marked on the map, so most players at this point probably knew Epic Games were stepping up their game. Season 3. There's not much that changed in the Season 3 map. However, one little thing Epic Games did work on is the detail on the map, so it now showed rocks and hills on the map, so it made it far easier to choose a proper location on the high grounds. There was also one storyline change to the map that was in the sky, and as most of you may have guessed already, it was the meteors that eventually fell down and destroyed Dusty Depot. Season 4. Well, Season 4. Season 4 is where it all changed for the map, and the once OG landing spot called Dusty Depot was destroyed by the meteor and changed to Dusty Divot. Along with Season 4, players started to see more frequent map changes as the new storyline went onwards. Roughly halfway through Season 4, players noticed there was a new change to the map that was just in between Viking Hill and Haunted Hills. This was where the visitor would eventually build the rocket, which launched as in a live event towards the end of Season 4. From the rocket launching, not much was changed around the map apart from some tears in the sky which players knew very little about. Season 5. The Season 5 map brought with it many changes, big changes, and one of the biggest changes was found towards the eastern south part of the map, and this has been replaced with a huge chunk of desert, therefore getting rid of the OG landing spot Moisty Mire. Later on in the season, one of the tears in the sky spawned some sort of purple cube, of which was later known as Kevin the Cube. All Kevin done throughout the season was tumble around the map, only destroying one building in Tilted, but the only significant change was when Kevin sunk into Loot Lake, therefore turning it into a huge bounce pad area whilst also turning the water purple. But little did players know this wasn't the end of Kevin. Season 6. This season started rather dramatically and it rushed into lots of different map changes, but one of the biggest changes was at Loot Lake with the floating island. This island would travel around the map throughout most of Season 6, tearing huge chunks of dirt from certain locations whilst obtaining some sort of power from them. Players also saw the new fiends come along, which spawned from shards that came out from the ground, and upon destroying the shard or fiend, you will be rewarded with either a weapon or ammo. Towards the end of Season 6, Kevin had already returned back to the original Loot Lake location, where he then started to drain himself. Now, I'm not going to get into much detail about the event as I am making a separate video about them, but after the cube fully drained itself, it started the Butterfly event, which led to having a new happy vibe at Loot Lake, and as much as players were upset about Kevin being gone, there was still hope that he may be back as his shards were still there. Season 7. Season 7 started of around the Christmas period, so Epic Games added a new iceberg which collided with the map, therefore removing the OG locations of Flush Factory and Greasy Grove and renaming the location Polar Peak. Not much else occurred or changed on the map that season that was permanent. However, there was a small Ice King event which covered the whole map in snow. But then the Fire King escaped capture by the Ice King and started causing havoc and earthquakes around the map. He even started the destruction of Wailing Woods. Soon cracks started appearing and all the snow had melted, and this then led to Season 8. Season 8. Season 8 changed the map completely, removing OG locations such as Anarchy Acres and Wailing Woods and replacing them with a new pirate location and a giant volcano. As you all may know, this was the only major map change in Season 8 until the live Nexus event, of which the vault at Loot Lake was opened up, allowing the players to unvault a weapon of their choice before getting shot out and watching their favorite locations such as Tilted Towers and Retail Row get destroyed by huge volcanic boulders. Season 9. Season 9 started with rebuilding Tilted Towers and Retail Row, therefore renaming them as Neo Tilted and Mega Mall. Players also saw new modes of transport, which were air pipes, which stretched around 3 main locations on the map. Players also saw the volcano get turned into a pressure plant, but no one knew what it would be used for later in the season. At the time that the volcano was renamed, the Polar Peak monster, also known as Caddis, broke out, therefore removing the ice castle from Polar Peak. From then on, not much happened apart from some footprints and one building being destroyed. This was until the Caddis vs Doggis event, which led to nothing but the orb in the vault at Loot Lake getting destroyed and the remains of the Caddis monster over near Salty Springs. Season 10. We are currently only 5 weeks into Season 10, so we are still due many map changes, and some of the biggest map changes so far are Neo Tilted being turned into Tilted Town and the surprise return of Dusty Depot. Players also have seen Mega Mall get turned into Retail Row, and the floating platforms are no longer in the sky. From what leakers have managed to pull from the game files, it becomes clear that we may be seeing the return of OG Moisty Meyer and also the beloved Kevin the Cube, with another surprise return of the motel as a part of the floating island Kevin. It is still unknown as to what sort of event will end Season 10, but there's still 5 weeks left, so anything can happen. Season 11. I've already done a video about Season 11, so if you want to go check that theory video out, then go do it after this. There are big pointers that there may be a dinosaur theme in Fortnite Season 11, and there's also a theme of space that may come now. Whether or not this happens, it is still unknown, but if there is a space theme, we could see a bunch of space alternative locations, such as a galactic tilted. If this happens, we may see the map turn white or red to match the color of the moon or the red sand of Mars. If the dinosaur theory is true, we may see the map staying the same, only with dinosaurs walking around it. And also another crater from where the meteor has hit the map, but no one knows much about Season 11, and this is just a theory, so let me know in the comments. If you managed to make it this far in the video, I would like to say a huge thank you for watching all the way through, and if you could then smash that red button, because legend has it that upon doing so, you will earn the legendary golden like button. Anyway, let me know your theories about Season 11, as I will be interested to hear. Till next time, peace.